Hello everybody, this is Astrophobia. This is a game I have been making for the last couple of months, and in this video I'm gonna show you how you can play it. If you want to play test it for free, you can join our Discord server in the description of this video. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing is we're gonna take a random weapon and a random card trait, and for this video we're gonna simulate two different players. I'm gonna be red and let's say somebody's orange. Okay, so after each player gets their cards, we're gonna start making our character. And for that, there are three main attributes, which are strength, dexterity, and cosmos awareness, which is basically magic. So what we're gonna do now is check if our cards have any kind of boost or negative effects in our attributes. In this case, we can see Volcanic has dexterity -1 and the whip doesn't have anything. So we're just gonna put here -1. After writing down the positive and negative effects in our attributes, we're gonna choose a class. There are 6 different classes, so you can see them in the screen right now. I'm gonna go in this case with, let's see, in this case I'm gonna go with a Lorian Knight, which has stats of +2, +2, +1, and -1. So we're gonna write that as well. +2, +1, -1. Okay, so now that we have this, the next thing will be we cannot start the game if we do not match our weapon's minimum attributes or if we have a value below 0. So we have a total of 9 points to assign to our attributes. So let's start by assigning first the minimum, which will be 1 here to get at least 0 CA. We see our whip grants needs 1 of strength, so we already have that, which is fine. Now we have full control of our character to how we want to put the remaining 8 points. In this case I have 1 and I have 2 strength, so each level will be +2 physical damage extra you deal. So if you have here 3, then you'll have 4 in total, 4 extra. If you reach level 6, you'll get 1 more move in the game or 1 more action. Then there's dexterity, which defines the chance you have to hit somebody. That's defined with these dice here. Each level has different dice. Level 0 will grant you this one, level 1 this one, level 2 and 3 these ones, and so on. If you reach level 8, then in dexterity you'll double your number if you roll doubles. And then there's CA. Basically CA is magic power, so that's for spells. Each spell requires a minimum CA. Let's say this one, Divine Well, requires CA of 6, so I would need at least 6 CA here to be able to use this spell. And for attack spells, for example, let's see a Magic Hammer. This one requires a minimum CA of 3, so each level of CA above the minimum of the spell will grant you +1 damage of the spell's type. In this case, it's just physical, so you'll get 1 more physical if you have level 4. And for spells with range, every 2 levels above the minimum will grant you +1 in range. So this one will have a range of 3 if you had 5 of CA. So let's see, I'm gonna put here, first I want to go 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You cannot put more than 6 points to a single attribute, and also this game's system of health is body part based. That means that if you lose a limb, you'll lose attribute points, meaning that if you lose an arm, you lose 1 strength. If you lose 1 strength and you are not able to wield your weapon anymore, you'll get disarmed. So you always have to kind of have 1 more point above the minimum of your weapon for strength at least, and for dexterity at least 2, depending on the weapon's requirement. This one doesn't have any requirements for dexterity. So let's keep making our character here. I have 7 points in total added, and I think the rest will go to CA. Let's put here 1 and 2. So we'll just do the math on everything here. We need to, these values here, we need to add them as well. So this will be 0 without this down here. This will be -1 and this will be +2. So now with everything in mind, this will be 2. this will be 6, and this will be 2 as well. Now that our character is done, we can write all the benefits we get. In this case, it's just going to be +2 physical damage because our minimum strength is 1, and we have 2 here of strength. Then we're going to write the body parts as shown here with their respective body part health. In this case, it's going to be 24 for the head, 32 for the torso, and 22 everywhere else. This is the default for all players. Then there are cards like this one that start with +2 HP on all body parts. So this person will have here, instead of 24, we'll have 26, 34, etc. Let's simulate now a game between two players. So we're gonna take these dice, these D10 dice, we're gonna throw it twice. The first value will decide our horizontal axis, in this case 0. So we start here, always start from the bottom left corner, relative to the player. So this means player 2, 0, 0 will be here, and for player 3 will be here. Then we'll roll again, and we get to 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Imagine our opponent lands here. Now we can finally play the game. We start with 3 actions as default, unless our weapons allow more. In this case, none of our weapons allow more, no, nor our stats. I have only 2 strength. And there are 2 types of actions. There are active actions and passive actions. Passive actions are moving around in the board, or if you have a spell, you can throw it away. And then active actions are attacking or using active spells. You can do as many passive actions as you wish until you run out, but then when you use an active action, you'll only have access to 1 extra passive action, losing everything else. So let's say I have 4 movements, okay? I can move here. If I have 2 spells, then I can throw them away. That's 3, and then I can attack. But if I have 4 movements and I move 1 on attack, I used only 2, but after that I will only be able to use 1 more passive, meaning I can either move away or just throw away a spell or cast a passive spell. Let's start an attack so we can explain how the combat works. First of all, you need to get in range of your weapon. In my case, melee range is 2, which means I can attack these players from here, because 1 and 2. My opponent has a melee range of 1, meaning they have to get close to be just pretty much next to me. So I'm gonna attack from here. Before attacking, you must choose a body part, and you can choose one of these body parts here, and each one has different requirements you need. For legs and arms, you will need to roll a higher number than your opponent to be able to hit. So I'm gonna attack, in this case, the arm, the left arm. I rolled 11. If my opponent doesn't roll 11, they will get hit. So they did not roll more than me, meaning they will get hit. If you get hit in this game, you'll have to check everything you have, meaning your cards, your extra boost, if you have here, for example, a shield, then you'll check it as well. And the remaining health you get, you're gonna write it here. For example, let's say I get hit with 6 and I'm left with 16 health. I'm gonna also put here the initial of whoever attacked me. So now everybody knows this is the last attacked part. Nobody can attack this again until another part is hit. This is done so you cannot spam just one body part and kill instantly someone. Now, as you saw, the opponent rolled doubles. When you roll doubles, you will get an event. After this turn ends, you will throw these D10 dice to determine where the event will land. But first, it's still my turn. So now I have attacked him, and for spells, you'll get a spell every time your turn ends. But if you hit somebody, then you can take a spell before ending your turn. So I'm gonna take it, see what it is, and now I cannot cast it, but I have 1 extra move. Imagine if I could cast it, then I could take this spell and just cast it. Now that my turn has ended, it's time for the opponent to first of all throw their event from their perspective. So it's gonna be an 8 and an 8. Let's just throw again. It's gonna be an 8 and a 4. So 8 starting from 0 and a 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Board events are always beneficial for the players, so it might be worthy to fight for them. My opponent, let's say, moves there 1, 2, and 3. They did not attack, they do not have that extra action, but they will take a spell. You always do when you finish your turn. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move 1, 2, and 3. And I cannot attack him because I already used my 3 movements. Now the opponent will take it, and when somebody takes an event, they will read it, everybody can see it, and the effects are instantaneous. So this person now can take 6 HP points from anybody in the table, or even multiple persons, and add it to their own health. So these effects are always beneficial, and their effects are pretty much instant. Now let's imagine they want to attack me. They will get close, and they can attack me now. Let's change now the body part. Let's explain the chest. For the chest, you must roll even numbers, and your opponent must not roll even numbers. So let's see. They got a 7, and even if they miss, I'm still gonna throw the dice to see if I get a board event or a lucky card, which I'll explain now. So lucky cards occur when you get the lowest number you can get or the highest number you can get. In my case, I can get a 12 or a 2. So that's the both the extremes for my dice. When you take a lucky card, when you roll the lowest number, for example, and you get a lucky card, its effects are dealt after the current turn of whoever is playing finishes. So in this case, Stumble, you lose 2 HP on each arm. This will have effect after my opponent's turn ends. Now, since my opponent missed, they cannot take a card before ending their turn, so they must first do their extra action. They're gonna run away, for example, and now they will take the card. Let's talk now about different types of attacks. So in Astrophobia, you can do 3 different types of attacks, and you can also do double attacks or multiple attacks. So first attack is melee. You can see here, this weapon has melee, this one as well, but then there are some weapons that have projectile or area type of attack. So let's see, I think one of these cards, yeah, this one does area range. This still melee, but it is area melee. When you do not see, when you only see area, it means melee area. So basically, this affects every single player that is in its range. Let's say there's another player here, and I want to use this spell with range of 2. I can attack both of these players at the same time. So I will throw my dice for each player. I want to attack this player, for example, in the arm, and this one in the head. First, I'll roll with orange to see if I roll higher, and then I will roll the same. I will roll again for the other player, and I will do this for every attack, multiple attack for every player. Here I have 2 examples of weapons that can do double attacks and projectile attacks. For example, the wooden spoon has melee range, but it also has projectile range. When you see in a card different types of attacks, for example melee or and projectile, you can use either one of those 2. So I can go close to somebody and hit them with a spoon, or I can go far away and throw them, and they will deal different damage. So here, see physical damage 1, that's just for melee because it's not specified. But here specifies projectile damage 3. So you'll do 3 damage if you hit somebody with a spoon using it as a projectile. And then there's double attacks. The twin blade can do a double attack. Double attacks basically mean doing the same attack 2 times in a row. And you'll throw the dice for each attack in a multiple, for each hit in a multiple attack. For example, let's say I want to hit this player with a twin blade, but I want to do it with a spell. For example, this arrow. For that, I'll cast the arrow, and since my weapon allows double attack, I will throw 2 arrows. So I want to attack the leg. I'm gonna throw, and then I'm gonna throw again for another body part or the same body part if I didn't hit his leg. Let's see the consequences of getting hit now. If you get hit on the legs or arms, nothing happens unless you lose one of these body parts, in which case if you lose a leg, you lose 2 CA, 1 dexterity and 1 action. If you lose an arm, you lose 1 strength and 2 dexterity. But then if you get hit on the torso and, well, if you get hit on the torso or head and they get removed, you die, you lose simply. But if you get hit on the torso, you lose 1 action your next turn, and if you get hit on the head, you will lose your next turn. So that's something to take in mind. And the effects of these are instant. Imagine my opponent does a double attack on me. If the first attack kills one of my body parts, the effects will be written instantaneously, meaning if I lose an arm, I will have 1 strength, 4 dexterity, and then I will lose this extra damage because my strength got just to the same level of my minimum strength. And then I have 4 dexterity, which means I will no longer be able to use these dice. I'll have to use a lower quality dice. So this gets applied in the middle of the attack, meaning the next hit I will receive will be played with the new dice and the new stats I have. In the case I have a shield active and somebody hits me in the head, even if I do not receive any damage, for example, this shield negates all total damage from an attack. If I do not receive any damage, I still got hit in the head. My next turn will be skipped. There are some elements I didn't mention in this video, but this was an introduction to Astrophobia's rules. You can find the rulebook in the description of this video, as well as the Discord server where I will keep the lore updated and you can play the game for free. You can also find down the website page where you can send your email to sign up for the Kickstarter. So yeah, thank you for watching.